Hey, what's up, and welcome to the All-In Networker podcast. This podcast started because myself, Dan McCabe, had a question. The question was, how do you build a big team fast in network marketing? So I asked a good mentor of mine, Dr. Pietsch, who is a Hall of Famer, 250,000 customers in his downline, tens of thousands of representatives, and he just started spilling the beans. Started telling me everything, not just what worked in the past, but what he is doing in the future to really grow and build his business. I said, hey doc, this needs to be a thing. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, we're gonna turn this into a podcast. So here it is, the secret straight from his mouth into your ears. Whatever we can do to help you and the industry grow is what we're here for. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's get started. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to the All-In Networker podcast. So I am here, as always, with my good friend and co-host, Dr. Pietsch. How are you today, Doctor?
Living the dream.
Living the dream. All right. I'm looking forward to this episode, and it's really because we just got done with one of our regular sales team calls, a call that you do basically every single day with your team. A portion of your team anyways, the people that are doing these 90-day runs with you. But then we talked a little bit afterwards, and you're just like fired up right now. So this is fun. And I know that part of that is that, you're looking at different leaders on your team, and you've got so many people in there, and there's certain parts of the team that have, I guess I'll just use the word plateaued, and let's go with that. And so we decided to create this episode, just how to revive that, how to reignite kind of a plateaued center. So you're on fire, so I'm just going to let you go. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I mean, as you look at, why the plateau is happening, there's a million different factors, but they just naturally happen over time. I mean, I've been doing this for 13 years. I've had many seasons of plateau. There's ups, there's downs, there's peaks, there's valleys. I mean, the valley that we're in, not all of us, but some of the people are in is you got a global pandemic going on. Our company has had challenges. You've got summertime. I mean, so it's just life. So what do you do? And I think that I'm fired up today just because I'm excited about the future of, where our company is going and what I personally want to do about it. And the thing that I've always just learned, over the years is, if it gets really bad, all I have to do is just go out and just lead from the front and just do it again. I can remember about 9 years ago, I had been in my company I'd been in for like 4 years. And, I had gone right to the top, hit highest rank in my company, 10 months and 5 days, had a lot of people ranking up super fast with me. But, after we did all that, 3 years later, for the first time, it started to stall out. And that was the first time I really experienced it, on a sustained period of time, and tried different things to jumpstart it. And then finally, I just got to the point where I was pushing dead bears up a tree. I looked at everybody on my team as though they just completely sucked and they're all completely worthless. And I was going to go do it all again myself. Screw everybody. I'm starting all over again by myself. And I remember I just plumped down a center and I just got back to work and boom, right in front of all of them. Just started putting in new numbers, new blood, new rank ups. And then boom, I put myself right up to the highest rank in my company again. And I did it right in front of them. And I could just tell you, like, the mindset and the way they would look at me, they just looked at me differently from that point forward because they knew that the big dog knew what he was talking about and he knew how to do it. And, that's how I earned a lot of respect from my people. And because I did that, my income skyrocketed. I think in network marketing in general, I think, the money comes in year 3, but if you can hammer it, out one more time after you make one big push, you can really get your income up really, really, really high. But, I'm just kind of in that same mindset right now. Like I've got one part of my team that is just crushing it like I haven't seen, maybe in like 13 years, like total crushing it. But then I have other parts of my team that's not the case. They're sucking wind and they're just allowing things to happen to them. And so, again, I'm not trying to convince anybody to do anything. I'm just going to go live my life, do what I want to do. I'll just do it right in front of them and just prove to them that you can win during any environment, during any circumstance. I mean, this is why you do all this training. This is why you listen to all these audios. You're growing. And then when the tests come, let's see what you're made out of. Is that going to take you out of the game? Is a pandemic going to take you out of the game? Because it didn't take other people out. I got other people that have massive growth that they've never seen before, but it took you out because you couldn't handle it. So again, I just love it when this type of scenario happens because I just love proving people wrong. I just absolutely thrive on that mentality.
Yeah. And you said a few interesting things there. And I think one of the most important things for people to really understand is that network marketing is a learned skill. And it's an interesting skill. It's unique, but you went to the top rank of the company 10 months and 5 days. I mean, a lot of people have heard that story at this point, but it was interesting there that you said 9 years ago that you did it again and you did it in front of everybody to prove a point. Now, what kind of got left out there was you did it again and you cranked up, your income, your monthly residual and everything. For the last 9 years, you've effectively taken it off for all practical purposes, right?
10 years.
10 years. So you've shown up. I mean, you go to the big trainings. You've kind of done what you needed to do, but you built it so big that you were able to just coast. And that's kind of the dream. That's why people get into network marketing in the first place. But in order to get there, you need to build and develop leaders on your team. You need to find people like you underneath you consistently building, which is a hard thing to do. Sometimes you get lucky and you strike gold right away. But most of the time, it's a hard thing. You got to go through a lot of people. You got to train people. It's a skill. And they need to want it as bad as you want it. So it is possible, though. You are living proof that it's possible. So we talk about that and where you're at right now. And right now, it's, due to all these outside factors, pandemics and, riots and everything else that we got going on in this very interesting year that is will forever be known as 2020. I understand and I see the fire in your eyes. Like it really seems like you're gearing up to do it again, just to show some of those people that stalled out that it can be done. And it's fun. It's fun to watch.
Well, Dan, I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on, and that's a million% a part of it. But at the same time, I'm just a realist. And, if you just look at, okay, in our political world, it's just craziness out there. And I started thinking about this the other day. If Trump wins in the fall, the left is going to go berserk. Okay. And if Trump doesn't win, the left is going to go berserk. So berserkness is coming either way. Our world is never going back. There's never going to be life before COVID. It will never go back. We have a friend, he was at the Mall of America yesterday and he was walking through there and there was 150 of the 500 stores that were open. All the rest wiped out. And there's lines to get into stores. And he said there was like 10% of the normal inventory that was in there, and I just think that the masses of people don't realize the economic crisis that is immediately before us. Mm-hmm. And so I just think that it is imperative that people learn right now how to make money from home. Because again, one of the biggest things that's got me so fired up is I have people on my own team telling me, Pietsch, you can't build leaders online. You can't do it. Well, let me just tell you something, Jack Wagon, who's on my own team. I love you, but you're wrong because we are doing it and you can do it. And I know tons of people that have built incredible leaders, people that make 10 times what you make leader on my team. So don't tell me what you think you know because you don't. And so, Dan, I'm fired up because that I'm telling people, I'm just going to lead from the front again. I'm just going to do it again right in front of you. And you can either draft off of me or you can resist me. You can think you're smarter, knock yourself out. All I'm going to tell you is we're going to crush you. If you're on my team, you're not on my team, we're going to beat you.
Right. And you know what I like about that and this podcast is, it's like a reality TV show. So we're going to get to follow that journey a little bit right here, through the entire process. So we'll talk about it, for the coming months here as we're going through it. It'll be great entertainment for all of our listeners. I mean, for the people that are on your team, for the people that are in your company, for the people that aren't in your company, because we get people from all companies that come and listen to this, which is kind of the design. We want to help the entire industry grow. But what you're saying is true for anybody in any company. And kind of the idea of this episode today that we talked about before, and it was just reviving a team that's kind of stalled out. And it's kind of the same when things seem to stall out. A lot of times it has to do with a period of time that maybe it is that you took off or somebody else took off. They built to a certain level. And, the biggest problem most people make is that they try to take that time off before they actually got there. They hit like a low to mid-level rank and they're like, I'm done. And they back off and they think that it's just going to grow and build themselves. But really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you're at within your business. Eventually, at some point, if you really want to maintain the respect of the team and everybody who's out there, you got to go out there and you got to do it again. You got to do it one more time.
And usually what happens to all these people is they spend all their money. So they still live paycheck to paycheck. And then when the tough times come, they end up having to deliver food to people's houses. Grown men delivering, food, and it's just like, listen, man, you're in a profession that you need to become a professional at. It's just like, you don't just go to chiropractic school for one day. You got to go for 8 years. You got to pass all the exams. And, for so many people, they're just so short-sighted. They're not anywhere near professional. They're not anywhere near ready. And they have no idea that they're not even, they think that you just get in and you just somehow know the skills and know how to do it. You don't. You have to learn how to do this stuff. And you got to be around the people that can actually do it and do it right in front of your face and are usually willing to give you all the information on how to do it if you just really want to know how to do it.
Yeah. And that's part of what we talk about with building online, things like that. There's so many resources and so many places for information and knowledge these days. Anybody who says that you can't build online, I don't know how you build without being online these days. If you're not putting together proper knowledge bases for your team, what are you going to do? Call every single one of them and teach them how to do the thing? Like, you shouldn't have to get on there and do what a video can do for you. You shouldn't have to repeat yourself to the brand new person. Like, you're not going to hit the top rank in the company. You're not going to build a new center, take it to the top by spending all your time with brand new reps that just came in, teaching them how to do the basics. If you're not doing that with an automated system, you don't stand a chance.
That's exactly right. All I'm thinking right now is, we just had the 4th of July. I was over at Eric Worre's house, who's the godfather of network marketing. And I remember about 2 years ago, he said, if I was in the field right now building, I would be doing 70% online and 30% belly to belly. And I was just like, you are nuts. Because I'm doing 100% belly to belly, 100% zero online. And I'm like, dude, you are delusional. Well, here I am 2 years later. And well, I didn't ask him, but I would have to venture that number is now much higher than 70% because we can't leave the house. We're on lockdown. I can't leave my house without putting on a mask that's going to kill me because I'm asthmatic and sucking in my own carbon dioxide. I got to do it online. And so does everybody else. So right now it's 100% online and it's only going to get worse. So you either figure that out or you are going to deliver food to people too.
And you referenced delivering food. It's one of the only jobs that's out there right now because you can't drive Uber. All the other side hustle gigs are gone at the moment. That's the one that exists. So, yeah. Oh man. I like the topic. I enjoy more so listening to you when you get this motivated, this excited, and I just know there's a lot of factors at play here. You're excited about what your company is up to these days. You're excited about the possibilities. You're excited about what's going on in the industry. You're excited about what can be done and built with everything online and the changes that can be made. And I know when you were at Eric Worre's house last weekend for the 4th of July, I'm sure you had a lot of conversations with what people there were doing. Besides Eric, did anybody else talk about how they're building their businesses? Just curious.
Well, I know a lot of these people. I know what they do. And yes, we had lots of in-depth conversations as to what was working. And none of them were belly to belly. I can assure you that because again, and I'm not de-edifying that. I'm the guy that built my whole empire doing it that way. So does it work 1,000,000%? But we can't do it right now because of the pandemic. And I'm just telling you, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse as time goes on. It's never going back to normal. There will never be life before COVID. It's never coming back. So you either learn that now or you're going to learn it the hard way when you're delivering food to people.
Right. And, and I've maintained for a long time, and there are a lot of network marketers out there, and there's a lot of trainers out there, education companies that try to teach you how to build your network marketing business solely online. And they're like, you can do this online, you can automate everything. And I don't believe that's the case either. I think Eric's comments of 70-30, maybe it's, not 70% online and 30% live, but I think it's 70% online and 30% is still old school network marketing stuff. You're not going to fully automate it. You can create really cool lead gen platforms and things like that using the internet these days, but you build out these systems online. You still got to go through and do some old school stuff that a lot of the new school network marketers don't necessarily believe in because they don't think you should ever ask anybody for anything. It's all the rage these days with people building online is making comments. And I can't say I've never made comments like this, but that you can build your business without talking to your friends and family. But really, at the end of the day, I believe you do have to do some of that. If you're building online and you develop these really cool systems, those systems become part of your sales tools. And those systems, when you're bringing on that new person, you're showing them how they can build online. And then you just sneak in the comment at the end, like, all right, now, if you're going to go build this thing and you're going to make it really big, don't you want to go tell your 10 friends and family first? and get them in really quick to make sure they're on the top. And when you can combine these two, the online and the offline world, and you bring them together, I believe there's just a golden opportunity there that people are missing out, because way too much of the industry is 100% old school or 100% new school, and they're not finding each other in the middle. And I believe that's where the opportunity is right now. I believe it's completely in the middle, because it is still network marketing. You still got to talk.
Exactly right. That's it.
So, yep, you still got to learn the basics. Whether you're doing this online, you're doing it offline, you got to learn the basic skills of network marketing, like you were talking about earlier. You got to learn how to sell. You got to learn how to present. You got to learn how to do the basic things, create the community, the culture, cast the vision of where it is that you are going in your business. So,
but yeah. you can develop relationships with people on Zoom. Right. You know, I can remember, boy, I'll bet you 10 years ago when I launched the Iceland market. There was no Zoom back then, but there was Skype. And I got up every day of my life and I ate my breakfast and I drank my Skype while I was talking to my leader in Iceland. And I knew this guy like the back of my hand, you know, and I just trained him, you know, on Skype. And so eventually I went there and I felt like I knew the guy because I talked to him every day of my life. What's the difference if I can physically touch him or he's just right there? I mean, I talk to you on Zoom all the time, Dan. And it's like, it's not any different in my mind. And somehow, you know, this is what I'm talking about is you develop real relationships with people and you can just do it like we're doing it, just using technology. And so, yes, you take all these skills and the technology that's out there and available today and you blend them together. Of course, it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I think it should be. So, yeah, yeah, that's fine. How long ago was that you were building in Iceland on Skype?
I don't know, 9 or 10 years ago.
Oh, I remember back.
I mean, fun fact, Dan. Fun fact: we put 1,000 people on their team in the first 90 days. Oh, they did better than anybody on my team ever did. I never went there. I did it all on Skype.
I'm still trying to figure out how to use Skype. So now with Zoom and you know, we record so many of these. We use StreamYard all the time now. There's so many of them now. You are 100% correct that we can build relationships online. I mean, we can do it all day, every day. It's amazing. And it's not just, I mean, there's almost like this speed to relationship that's almost faster online, especially if you're the leader and you're the influencer, you're the one putting out the initial content, because generally before you get on that Zoom call or that Skype call, you've already been edified to that person, or they've already seen a video of yours. They already feel like they know you a little bit. And typically when you're getting into those conversations, you know what the conversation is going into it. It's going to be about network marketing. It's going to be about my product. It's going to be about joining my opportunity. Like these conversations, they're already kind of vetted before you have them, so they can happen a lot faster, as opposed to if you're just 100% old school network marketing, like so many people still teach. It is call and hoodwink your brother-in-law into meeting you at a coffee shop, and then when he shows up, have your laptop out. Yeah. And all of a sudden you see their eyes roll back and they're like, you can see it. It actually says on their forehead, oh crap, it's one of those things.
Yep.
So, and like, would you rather deal with that, or would you rather get on a Zoom call with somebody who wants to be there, that's already like been like, hey, you know what? You have something interesting. I want to talk to you.
Yep. So, I mean, in either way, you know, it's like, I just don't want to have to keep driving around town all the time, because I can show so many more people in 3 hours. If I have to do it face-to-face, it takes me 3 hours. I show one. Either they're rolling their eyes back or they're not. But when I do it, you know, sitting on my computer, I can probably show 12 in 3 hours. That's what I love.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, there's the benefits are kind of endless. I'm not saying there's not a place for live presentations from time to time or live meetings with the right people, but you know, we interviewed Sashin a couple weeks ago on this podcast. And if you go back and listen to that, he put in, I think it was like, it's close to 800 people personally on his team. And I believe he said, if I'm remembering this right, maybe you remember, but only 2 of those people did he meet with face-to-face. And out of those 2, both of them were family members.
Yeah.
So did I get that story about right?
Yeah. I mean, that is right, you know, and that's just, I mean, look, you just do whatever you want to do. You just, you know, what do you want your day-to-day life to be like? You know, like I'm 50 years old now. I'm just not willing to do that stuff as much anymore. You know, I just want to be able to collapse timeframes. I mean, number one, I don't need the money. You know, I like just doing it. It gives me something to do. And I like the challenge of it. I like inspiring people. And, you know, it's just, you know, what do you want your day in and day out life to look like?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, And I like how you say, like, I was like doing it because I like the challenge of it. I just want to go build another center that makes me another several tens of thousands of dollars a month passively after I build it. So these are good hobbies to have, by the way. So a lot of people have a lot of hobbies that make them go broke. So this is a good hobby of yours.
Hey man, if you want to be a really good juggler, you knock yourself out. If you want to be a jump roper, you just go jump rope. I mean, the stuff that people get good at, I mean, Dan, I think about that stuff all the time. Like I watch people, they are so talented at something that is so worthless, and I'm just like, man, why don't you just apply yourself to do something else? You wouldn't have to be driving that raggedy old car over there you just got into or whatever, man.
I remember driving by the lake last summer and looking out, and there's like a group of 20 people like doing artistic hula hooping. And I'm like, how do you get good at that? Like, how much time do you have to spend practicing to do that? And it just boggled my mind. And, nothing, I mean, whatever, fine. Something against hula hoopers. No, I'm nothing against people that like to hula hoop, but it's just like, man, you got to spend like hundreds of hours to like get that good. Like, yeah, do something, well, like you're saying, something that can pay you more going forward for a hobby.
Well, Dan, I mean, because it just comes from my belief that I just believe that if everybody would just, pick a network marketing company, get to work, get residual income coming in that is stable, then you can do all these you can be the best hula hooper in the world. Go back yourself up. But you don't have to go to work. You can live anywhere that you want to live. I'm just so tired of seeing people getting so jerked around as to, can you work here or can't you work here? Because I say so, or you have to go live in this city, or, I mean, it's just, the stuff that people put up with to me is just mind-boggling. I rebelled against that when I'm like 19 years old. I'm like, no, I am not ever going to have a job. Like I had so many bad jobs, and I would look at the person that was telling me what to do, and I so did not respect that person in any way, shape, or form. I just took that disdain for that. I'm just like, I'm going to go do something on my own and take responsibility for myself. And until you get to that point where you're just like, I'm not listening to this jackwagon anymore. I'm going to go make things happen myself, and then hold myself accountable. It's not going to happen for you anyway. So you got to get that stuff figured out for yourself.
All right. So, well, I was listening to all that, and if I understood it right, if I do everything you just said, I can go do all the hula hooping I want. So
that's what floats your boat. You knock yourself out.
Yeah. All right. Well, no, I love it. And I think yeah, there's so much opportunity in this industry of network marketing. And obviously we created a podcast called All In Networkers. So we already love the industry. I don't think we necessarily need to convince anybody that listens to an All In Networker podcast about how great this industry is, but maybe just to throw a little more ammo that they can use when they're out presenting to people. This really is just one of the purest industries in the world. You talk about everybody going out, everybody should go out and find a network marketing company and build. Really, if people did that, if people were going out there and doing it, their friends, their family, the people they come in contact with would rather buy those products from them anyways. I mean, aside from this being a pure industry and that in order for me to make more money, I need to help my downline make more money. I get to go help people make more money, without charging them, and I make more money. Like that's pure enough as it is. But then also just you throw in this idea that if we're out there fending for ourselves, I would rather support my friends in their network marketing business than going to the nutrition store, going to the supplement store. I'd rather support them all day. And, if we start taking this mentality, it's almost like a community wealth mentality, even if we're in different companies, like supporting each other's companies. I never knock anyone down who wants to present me with their new opportunity. I'm probably not going to do it, but you never know. It's like we didn't get here. If we're going to ask other people, we should be open-minded to listening. But if they got a product and I can support them in their business, I'd rather buy from them. I'd rather buy from my friends that are network marketers all day long.
It's the abundance mentality, and the masses of people have scarcity mentality and all these different things. But if you could just, I hope that people, if they're on here, they have this belief that it's just a better way to make money. I mean, it just is. Yeah. I mean, from your real estate background to my chiropractic background, the two lifestyles are not worth comparing. You can't even have the conversation because the one is so far superior to the other.
Yeah, I know everything that you went through, and you've talked about it here on these shows before with all the schooling you had to go through and how hard you had to work, how you had to see more patients, and just how time consuming that was. And I'm sure I've talked about the real estate piece a little bit. Real estate, it's funny, like everybody I talk to, they're like, you did real estate. I want to do real estate. I want to invest in real estate. That sounds so glamorous. But it really wasn't. Every day I had to wake up when we were developing projects. Every day I have to wake up and be like, all right, who do I want to go fight with today? which contractor didn't do his job properly and I need to go argue with him while he wants to get paid for doing crappy work. It just wasn't fun. It wasn't the way I wanted to wake up. I'd wake up stressed every day. It was painful. So I get it 100%. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and get this one wrapped up here. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for some new centers. I'm excited for the reality that the people listening to this show are going to get to witness over the next few months of how it goes and how it grows. Maybe we'll talk about that more in the next episode. But anything else there that I spurred that you want to get out here before we wrap up?
Well, I mean, when your business plateaus, just go do it yourself. Just lead from the front. I mean, Dan, you just know this. I mean, I love my team. I love these people. But there just comes a point where you just have to say, screw all of them. I'm going to leave you all in the dust. I'm just going to go do it myself. And I'm just going to show you it really works. Yep. I mean, because it really is that mentality. Because that's extreme ownership. Mm-hmm. That's just saying, I don't care what you think. I love you. I appreciate you. You're my brother. But I'm just telling you, here's how I'm going to do it. And then you just do it and get it done. Nothing will speak louder to that person. If you want to teach leadership, that's how you lead. You lead by doing.
Yeah. And, screw all of them in the nicest way possible, but
exactly right.
Doing it. And I know when you did it that second time around, and it was kind of alluded to at the beginning of this episode, but they're going to see you do it. And it's the best form of leadership because they've done it before. These leaders have done it before as well. They're going to see you doing it again, and it's going to fire them up. Nothing's going to motivate them more than watching you do it. There are no magical words that you can say to them, magical systems that you can give them that are going to motivate them as much as watching you running off into the distance.
Results only. Results. I mean, what are you going to say? I have them and you don't. That's it. There's an end of conversation. Go home.
Absolutely. All right. With that being said, we'll go and wrap up here today. Appreciate all you guys for listening to the All In Networker podcast. Till next time, we'll get some updates here on what's going on with Dr. Pietsch's team and his leading from the front. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Hey, thanks for listening to the All In Networker podcast. Dr. David Pietsch and I greatly appreciate it. If you receive some value or you know somebody that receives some value, please share this episode with them. We want to pick up the entire industry, help serve the entire industry of network marketing. We believe that when other network marketers win, we all win. So on top of that, if you'd like to check out some of our free trainings, you can go to allinnetworker.com. Otherwise, please just rate, subscribe to this episode, this podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. We'd greatly appreciate it. And until next time, thanks a lot.